Okay, so you want me to look at this George Santos? All I really know about George Santos is that he is a conservative politician, and apparently he lied about being Jewish. Is that what this is about? It's something a little different. We love that. Let's see.
Criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
Okay.
Bruce Rivers,
This is
he's the
from
criminal lawyer.
Bruce Willis.
And it's gonna
Oh,
react
sorry.
to all the self-
Bruce Rivers. Bruce Willis. Is Bruce Willis the guy from Die Hard? It's so sad. I think he has like a really Bruce Willis. I think he's like suffering from like a rare condition, and that makes him like not able to really speak or something. His health really deteriorated. It's called dysphagia. Psychological condition. Says stuff. Loss of ability to understand or express speech caused by brain damage. Sad stuff.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer, and today we are very jocularly laughing at George Santos. We're going to talk about George Santos
Why is your music still going?
a little bit and all the lies upon liars with lies. You know, normally politicians lie all the time. But
Sure, yeah.
before we get into George Santos, this episode, like all of our episodes, is brought to you by eSign.com. eSign.com. It's an effective way to remotely execute any kind of document, whether it's a power of attorney, any kind of document. You use eSign.com, and you don't have to be there in person. You get 3 signatures a month for free. Just download the app,
music,
and
huh?
if you're doing business, do business with eSign.com. It is so awesome. Now let's talk about George Santos, if that is your real name. He has lied.
Okay.
It's easier to say this. He hasn't told the truth about anything. He has lied about where his employment is. He has lied about all of his experience. He has lied about being a volleyball champion. Who the fuck would lie about that?
I don't know.
A
It's kind of gay if you're a man to be a volleyball champion. So why would you lie about that?
volleyball champion. He has lied about his mother, being a 9/11 survivor who was actually.
Why?
He also has a warrant out of Brazil for theft, and I guess he's already admitted to that. And he's under, I think, about 5 different investigations, a couple with DOJ. So we're gonna just look at this compilation, and it'll be. I can't even begin to tell you the temerity this guy has.
I dare anybody to stand up and try to cancel me.
Okay, you're gonna get canceled. It's coming. Can you just feel the freight train of retribution coming his way? George Santos, liar, liar.
Did I embellish my resume? Yes, I.
Did I embellish? Okay, now to
Hey, listen. We've all been there. Embellish that resume, baby. You know what I mean? They always tell you. It's like, let's say I don't know, you were a cashier. It's like, I was responsible for customer service on the direct per frontline level, But I guess he just said that he was a bunch of shit that he wasn't, so it's not the same.
embellish means I had more experience. I worked for Goldman Sachs, and I was there for only 3 years when I said I was there for 5. That's embellishing. If you say I was there at Goldman Sachs and I never was there at Goldman Sachs, that's not embellishing. That's just a straight up lying.
Or maybe you were the janitor at Goldman Sachs. There you go.
And I'm sorry.
Congressman George Santos has been facing a storm of controversy amid reports that he fabricated key details about his education, work experience, heritage, and more.
Damn.
Work experience, heritage, more. In fact, all the details about me aren't fucking true. But here's where he is going to really, really, really get himself into prison. So, I mean, lying, congressmen fucking lie all the time. Lie,
true, yeah.
And then they lie about others, and attribute statements to other people. They do it all the time. Kevin McCarthy does it. Joe Biden does it. Every politician embellishes
True.
and lies, but not like this.
Donald Trump.
One of the things that he's done, and this is why there's a criminal aspect to this, is he donated $700,000 from his own personal funds to his campaign. He did not have $700 grand.
No way. Yeah.
And so those are, and my understanding is that there's a whole host of $199 contributions from a single source, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's kind
Was he money laundering? Is that what we're saying here? That'd be nuts.
of continue.
These are blatant.
This guy said he was Jewish. I'm Jewish. A little bit. Not really, though.
Lies. Do you have no shame?
Tulsi, I can say the same thing about the Democrats.
I love it when politicians do this. When they ask you a direct question, I can say the same thing about Democrats. Here's the thing.
True.
You can't say the same thing about any other politician that has lied like
Over
this.
here more, but that's okay.
On November 9, 2022, George Santos was elected to Congress, flipping New York's 3rd District and helping the GOP clinch a slim majority in the House. He made history as the first openly gay Republican elected to Congress as a non-incumbent.
A little bit Jewish.
But just over a month after his win, an expose by the New York Times unraveled a string of lies he told about his background, prompting even more discrepancies to be spotted.
We were bamboozled. absolutely lied to.
Lying during a campaign is probably not enough to get him recalled. You need something a little more.
And we do not want this representation in New York District.
Put myself through college and got an MBA from NYU.
Not true.
I have zero debt. Nothing in life is free. And the harder you work for something, the more rewarding it is. Today, I stand very proud with the bachelor's and master's degree, all New York educated, Baruch College and NYU for my MBA.
Santos' website once claimed he got a bachelor's degree in economics and finance from Baruch College. His biography on the National Republican Congressional Committee's website also previously...
Why would you lie about that? Like, isn't that like one of the easiest things to do, is to figure out if you actually have a college degree? Like, I feel like there's probably a pretty easy way to figure that out. Why would you lie about that? It's so bizarre. Okay, interesting. I mean, just don't get it. I don't really get it. Make a different lie. Like, I never shit in my pants. I've never shit on the wall before on accident as an adult. I've never sneezed and shit myself. That's a lie. But how do you verify that? Okay, unless you were there, unless you're my wife. But it's not true. It didn't happen. So
We mentioned him.
Now, here's the thing. When you put these provably false things out there, and these are fine in the sense that, there's nothing criminal about lying like this. You're hoodwinking your constituency. It's kind of reprehensible, really. I mean, because what do you have? If you don't have your word, what else do you fucking have? Nothing, right? Your word is your bond. And so if you believe that I'm lying to you right now, you can't trust anything I'm saying. And that's why I always try to keep it real. And
nice. I like this guy.
But if you do wind up with something criminal, they can use all this past stuff against you later.
At New York University. Both Baruch and NYU, however, told the Times they could not find any records of him attending. Santos has since admitted to the lies to the New York Post.
Jesus. Crack
I
quick.
didn't graduate from any institution of higher learning. I'm embarrassed and sorry for having embellished.
You can't crack that quick, bro. What the hell? You just instantly like, no, it didn't happen. You gotta double down, brother. Double down, triple down. Happy Meal, dude. What are you doing? You don't admit it.
Or lied on my fucking resume. Another lie number 2, that he worked at Citigroup and Goldman
Santos'
Sachs.
campaign site, which has since been updated, initially stated that he began working at Citigroup as an associate and quickly advanced to become an associate asset manager in the real asset division of the firm. His bio also indicated he briefly worked for Goldman Sachs. Spokespeople for Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, however, told the New York Times they could not confirm his past employment. In subsequent interviews, Santos clarified that he instead had worked for a company that did business with the firm.
Oh, wait a second. I want you to know that I'm a member of Liars Anonymous. In fact, I'm the president. Remember that old skit?
Don't.
Okay.
I feel like word is bond is one of the things you would always say. Yeah, I say it all the time. Word is bond, my friend. Yeah, it's true.
I didn't.
It's because I'm I'm invited to the cookout. You know what I mean, dude? That's
really work for them. I worked for somebody that had a Citibank credit card. I mean, give me a break.
the same thing.
I used a poor use of words,
I lied.
but I did work in the industry for a number of years.
But not for that employer. I mean, fucking hate. This is the worst one, I think.
Why brag about that anyway? Goldman Sachs is like fucking scumbags, and so
It's a bank. My mother's life, so I'm blocking, so I don't ever have to read this again. Just
According to her
extraordinary.
obituary, Santos' mother actually died in 2016, more than 15 years after 9/11. Santos himself confirmed the year of her death in a tweet just months later.
Wait, what? Why would he say that? Wait, I'll never claim my mother's life, so I'm blocking, so I don't ever have to read this again. What? Why would you even lie about that? What the fuck? Okay.
That's the other thing. When you put tweets,
Himself confirmed the year of her death in a tweet just months later.
I forgot 9/11 was in 2016.
that's the other thing. When you put tweets out there, when you put a permanent record out
say
there,
that?
you better make it true. Because I mean, what do you get out of that? What do you get out of saying your mother died in 9/11? It really takes away from those that did.
Santos later claimed his father was also on ground
He must be like fucking delusional or something.
zero the day of the attack, and again confirmed neither of them died that day.
My parents were both down there the day of the attacks, and fortunately none of them passed.
The current version of his website states his mother, quote, survived the tragic events on September 11th, but she passed away a few years later when she lost her battle to cancer. While it is possible his mother could have developed cancer from toxins released during the attack, people are pointing out that 15 years is more than a few years, and that her obituary makes no mention of 9/11.
Yeah, so first of all, with all the shit in the air, it is actually possible, I suppose. But, I mean, that's... I guess then you could technically claim it, because they still have people that are suffering to this day from all, like, these stuff. But I feel like, I don't know. Okay.
And my understanding is that she wasn't even in the country on 9/11.
Oh, good morning. Shabbat shalom to everybody. Lee has served as an inspiration, as a friend, and as a leader for the Jewish folks in Congress, at one point being just 2 members. So now we're going to be 3.
That's Santos speaking at the Republican Jewish Coalition meeting in Las Vegas last November, noting that with his election, there would now be 3 Jewish members of Congress. But less than 2 weeks later, he said this.
I'm Jewish.
I love it. What
This
a
is a guy,
fucking nut job.
I mean, he's so smug and he lies so easy, and he is slick, but he's stupid because his lies are so easily provable. And he's the kind of guy you just want to, I don't know, beat the shit out of.
I come from a Jewish family. My mother's family is Jewish. I grew up and I was raised Roman Catholic. My father's Roman Catholic.
And just about a month later, he said this to the New York Post.
I never claimed to be Jewish. I am Catholic because I learned my paternal family had Jewish background, so I said I was Jew-ish.
Yeah, based as fuck.
I've seen how socialism destroys people's lives because my grandparents survived the Holocaust.
We're no stranger.
Wow.
Okay, how does Holocaust and socialism have anything to do with each other? First of all, it was fascism. It was, totalitarianism in Nazi Germany.
Well, the same
The
thing,
two
guys.
don't equate.
To persecution. My grandfather fleeing Ukraine in 1920s to Belgium, then fleeing Belgium to Brazil in 1940. It's a story of survival, of tenacity, of grit, as we like to call it.
According to genealogy records first uncovered by the Jewish news site The Forward, Santos' grandparents were both born in Brazil before the Nazis came to power. CNN also interviewed multiple genealogists, none of whom could confirm the claim that Santos' grandparents had fled the Holocaust. Since all of these revelations were made, people in Santos' district have been calling on him to resign.
We need to stand together because we do
Yeah, why does he just keep lying about like so easily provable things? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
not want to be represented by a clown in Albany.
So when you
True.
take somebody's clout, their truth, their history, and you trample on it by assimilating to it or by appropriating it, and none of it's fucking true, you really add insult to injury. But all of these things
I
are
agree.
building on each other.
Did I embellish my resume? Yes, I did. And I'm sorry. The reality is I'm human.
More aspects of Santos' life.
Yeah, I have that problem too. I'm constantly accidentally lying, It's fucking crazy. It's like the same thing if you walk in on like a guy cheating on his girl, he's like, I fell into her. It wasn't my fault, it's an accident. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Have since come into question. Claims about his income, his philanthropic credentials, his property ownerships, his mother's career, and even a claim that he lost employees to the Pulse massacre.
At the Pulse nightclub in Orlando in 2016, which I happened to, at the time, have people that worked for me in the club. My company at the time,
Why does he just feel the need to like, I guess, appropriate every single like tragedy in the fucking world?
lost 4 employees.
How dare he? How dare he try to score political points or gain sympathy by lying about losing employees?
And that's exactly what you see the pain that you cause by doing that. I mean, and here's the thing.
Job.
He's a gifted speaker. I'll give him that. I mean, he's got a compelling way about him. But nothing is fucking true. So, these guys are awful to represent. And I'll tell you why. Because
they're bad people.
Nothing he's going to tell his lawyer is true.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, yeah.
All this stuff is kind of just reprehensible by itself.
Oh, I'm going to lose.
But what's going to do him in is that campaign finance. That's what's going to do him in. When you lie about one, there's a doctrine in law, and sometimes it's incorporated into a jury instruction, and it has to do with credibility of a witness. It's called falso in uno, falso in omnibus. In other words, if you're lying about one thing, you're lying about everything. And if you don't have your credibility, you don't have jack. And in this case, when he's looking at those campaign finance violations are going to be so easy to prove because there's going to be a trail of money, and it's going to go here, it's going to go here, it's going to go here, and he is not going to be able to get out of that. And guess what? Somebody who is that loose with the truth, that's so cavalier with telling lies, is going to be that way in their personal business. I've seen it over and over.
I'm surprised he didn't tell people he was like 1/64th Cherokee or whatever.
Again, you watch. They're going to dig a little bit, and they're going to find a lot. So this is just our little reaction to the wonderful and creative George Santos, the gay Jewish congressman from New York.
He's a little
Jewy. See you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. We'll follow this because this is going to be a fun story to watch because he's going to implode on his own, and he won't need any help from anybody. So we'll see you next time. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Sign up for Patreon. And you stop yourself snitching. We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Gotta hear the outro.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away.
Wow, incredible.
I want Papa God to pee on my face. but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.